All right, everybody, welcome to another show here at LEARNin San Diego Live, where we're going to be talking about real estate insights, deals, and events in real time. My name is Chris Astelero with Exchange Resources. Welcome to LEARNin San Diego Live. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another great show. We have so much information, so much content that we have lined up for you today. We're going to talk about an introduction to another 6 weeks, highlighting the different regions of San Diego, featuring some of the top subject market educators in San Diego County. And we're going to talk about things that a first time home buyer or an investor need to look at when they're buying in these specific regions of San Diego. The quality of life, market trends, the economic developments, all of these play a role in making a decision on why you should buy in these particular regions, why you gravitate towards that. Are you a family looking to buy your first house in these regions? Are you an investor looking to find out if it pencils out for you with regard to the rate of return? We're going to look at all of this, and we bring in all of our subject matter experts here, our subject market educators here, to be able to talk about all these different things so that you make the right decisions in real estate. My name is Chris Astelero with Exchange Resources. Are you an investor who's faced with a significant tax consequence? You thinking of selling your rental property? Well, as you know, on a $1 million gain, you can be faced with approximately 30 to 40% in taxes that you're going to have to pay if you don't do a 1031 tax deferred exchange. As a qualified intermediary, what we do is we hold those funds for you as soon as you close escrow so that you have the time to identify your upleg property and close on that replacement property. We always recommend that you talk to your CPA and your tax advisor again to determine if it's right for you. But we're here to provide all the information that you need, the basic rules, how to qualify, if you're qualified, and what you need to do in order to, go through that process. We're here for you, and we want to make sure that the 1031 exchange is right for you. So without further ado, let's get into the next segment of our show and get into it with our LEARNin Local News.
Happy Friday. This is Coach Rue bringing LEARNin Local News to you. If this is the first time of you tuning into LEARNin San Diego Live, the reason why we bring the news every week, relevant real estate news and education about commercial, residential real estate investing, is because there's no ability to be able to get this information live. We are the first live podcast doing it, but we lead the way with the news to really have everyone understand, why we even exist. So today's news article is an article from a great source, CoStar.com. You might have heard CoStar, but they're saying Tesla is going to invest 20 billion in property in a property pivot with a robot focus in California, Fremont specifically. Chris, isn't it, panel, isn't it amazing that there's so much going on, especially with technology? There's so much going on and there's so much to talk about. Didn't you, or wouldn't you love an opportunity to talk about these topics with the people who are doing the business, people who are experienced, and people who have the know-how and are educators? I mean, does that seem like something that would be cool? You guys, what do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think with the,
For sure.
technology, the rise of technology and AI and the robotics, we have to figure out, okay, so how is that going to affect the market in general? Is it going to create more jobs, or are people going to lose these jobs? Because, Tesla looks like they're, trying to create AI and the robotics, and it's just going to definitely affect the market. So there's going to be advantages and disadvantages. Let's talk about it. How do you guys feel?
Well, I think, with everything that Tesla is doing, it's going to be a game changer for everybody. The AI and robotics are really reshaping property demand, and with what he's doing up in Northern California, it is increasing the number of employees. It's high income tech workforce growth, advanced manufacturing job creation. Which, what does that mean for us? It means housing demand near these innovation corridors. While he's starting up there, it could spread to San Diego and all parts of the country. So I think Southern California is a huge area primed for possibilities for this type of companies to come here and open shop, which means business for all of us. And I think with us being on the leading edge, the people on the show, the influencers, and we're ready. We're ready for action, right? That's why we're here on the show, because we have the experts. We have, and this from the Mr. Carlsbad to Casey, Lending, 1031, Ruben, Private Money, Adib, and Martin. So what are your guys' thoughts? I think it's super exciting, and our world is changing.
Yeah, Tracy, I think you bring up a really good point about where's it going to go, right?
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, we used to look to San Francisco and the Bay Area a lot for market trends. So I'm in residential real estate lending, and we used to look at San Francisco in that area to see what was happening, and we would expect normally a 6 to 12 month lag, and we'd start seeing things like that locally here in San Diego. So really curious to see if that's going to continue. Obviously, as they expand, San Diego is a great place to be. High paying jobs, high net worth individuals. We live in a very desirable place with a lot of commercial available right now, right? Whether they're looking for office buildings, there's a lot of office available. We have a lot of industrial in Escondido and going into the East County regions. So, who's to say where they're going to go, but would love to see them come here. And I think we're primed for it, and would be great for real estate on the commercial and the residential side, bringing in those jobs.
Absolutely.
But going off of that, I actually fully agree with Casey. I kind of see this the way Apple is in Poway. How they just generate a lot of income and a lot of high income producing individuals that are constantly looking for a place to relocate. So obviously one of the reasons for choosing is the school districts, the location, crime, all that. And for example, in Poway, how it's one of the top school and leading school districts in the nation, they're going to be looking for stuff like that to then create a lot of single family homes, rental properties, multifamily properties all around these factories to provide for these high income and the mass influx of individuals coming into Tesla. So super excited to see what happens with that, and if they ever come to San Diego.
It would be great if they came to San Diego. I remember when a large, and my name, of course, Adib Mahdi, general contractor. I had an experience once where Tesla, and I believe it was one of the large retailers, was moving into an area. And one of the things that they wanted to do, which affect my industry, is they wanted to have a series of executive homes, and they wanted to have a series of middle management homes. And even when those individuals moved into the area, I think this was up in Lake Elsinore, even when they moved into the area, the homes that they were buying, they wanted to modify those homes so that they could fit, the style, the lifestyle that they had. So it's a serious impact for construction, because lots of folks will have to come in, executive, middle management, upper management, just your regular managers and employees. And a lot of those homes and a lot of that construction gets modified. A lot of those residential and commercial TIs all gets affected. And it does something for the neighborhoods. I would imagine you guys see that sort of vibration happening in the neighborhood when a new company comes in and people start to move into different neighborhoods. But it's great for us. It's great for us in the construction side.
Yeah, absolutely. All good points, Adib and everybody.
I'm sure.
Kind of going off of that, I do think that this is going to lead to, more need for housing that we already have. And I also think about, the sort of ancillary industries that are going to be supporting this robotics charge. So I'm thinking about these data centers that have been in the news lately, and the companies behind these data centers. They're probably going to need more of those kind of spaces if this is actually going to happen, in order to, charge these robots. But there's been a lot of pushback in communities about these data centers because they're raising utility costs, which are already high, and they're already putting a strain on some of the other resources that we have. So I think it's going to take a lot of strategic planning in order for both things to kind of come together in the right way.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's really good, Aris. Really good points. I think everyone made amazing points. One thing that I will add is that, like, I'm a little bit concerned about the labor market only because it was revised downward so much. I think it was 500,000 all the way down to like 150,000, and that 150,000 was really just the healthcare segment. So as much as AI and technology is advancing and providing these new facilities to create these cars, it's almost like trying to catch up for what's lost, but not really. So it's really going to be interesting on how that's going to happen, because yeah, it's exciting. You can make headlines for putting in 20 billion, but like, man, we lost a lot of jobs last year. And I know a lot of people who can't find the jobs right now, especially, my 46-year-old intern working at the company. So it's amazing and it's exciting. I think the other thing that we should be really hopeful for is that this type of communication is only going to make it easier for our clients to understand the evolving world of real estate and can get trusted professionals like you guys. So Chris, I'm gonna let you kick off the show, because Learning in San Diego Live is about to pop off, brother. So make it happen. Let's do this, because you just do it right. So let's lead the way.
Oh, you're on mute.
Chris.
I'm sorry.
Learning.
Thank you again for all of your insights. This is great. And again, there's advantages and disadvantages. So we're just going to have to see if it's going to create some demand for real estate here in the San Diego area. But first off, let's figure out and talk about what is LEARNin Local Live. LEARNin Local Live is a live platform. So please comment and ask questions below. We highlight and spotlight real estate professionals, off-market deals. We provide networking opportunities, events to actually meet these real estate professionals. So if you're interested in building an ADU, or you're a first-time home buyer, or you want to meet with a contractor, or any of these different things, different projects that you're doing, we connect you with the right people right here on the show. More importantly, we're here to educate, empower, and inspire you to make the right decisions and be successful in real estate. Now, remember, this show is not only for, realtors or the professionals. It's for all those people who are curious about what's really going on in the San Diego real estate market. You may be wondering, how do we do all this? Well, we connect, collaborate, and create content with all of our subject market educators. So if you are affiliated with real estate in any way, shape, or form, if you are a stager, if you are a contractor, if you're an appraiser, an inspector, we want you on the show, right? So welcome everybody to the show. Thank you all so much for being here. Another beautiful day here in San Diego. The most expensive real estate market in San Diego, but also we've got a lot of great opportunities here, and we're going to showcase it with all of these subject market educators. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
How's everybody feeling? Feeling great?
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get into the next segment of our show and move on to meeting our subject market educators. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. And again, the reason why we are here bringing the LEARNin Local educators is to provide you with real-time information. It's hard to find really good information about what's going on in the real estate market. That's why we bring them here to you. I'm not an expert in real estate. I've done real estate. I've done loans. I've flipped houses. I've held properties. But bringing in the educators here is important because we want to make sure that you make the right decisions in real estate. And we connect you with all of them here. Now, a lot of these educators are here to promote their business, to promote themselves, and tell you why you should be connecting with them. I'm one of those educators. I don't have time to create content for myself, but this is what they can do for you. Located in Rancho Dr. Bernardo. We've been around for over 26 years and we've done over 60,000 tax deferred exchanges. If you don't do a 1031 tax deferred exchange, you could be faced with about 30 to 40% in taxes, right? Wouldn't you rather roll that over into the next property so that you can buy more with it? Well, we're here to give you your options. Let's talk. Thank you so much, Exchange Resources. And again, all you need is really one qualified intermediary for the entire nation, Exchange Resources. Now, without further ado, let's introduce some of these subject market educators here. Let's first off introduce Tracy.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Tracy Hassey, Super Connector, Vice President of Escrow Sales with Ticor Escrow Services. So escrow is mission critical and where risk management begins. It's where protection lives. It's where precision matters. And it's really where fiduciary responsibility becomes real. So Tracy Hassey, Ticor Escrow Services. I'm a little tongue-tied today. So Ticor Escrow Services, we are the leaders. And why I'm here, we are the leaders at safeguarding your real estate deals from wire fraud and cybercrime, backed by the financial strength of as a Fortune 313 company and the top escrow experts closing your deals. So cheers to your success. Let's connect. I'm here for you as a resource and enjoy the show.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. Casey.
You're welcome.
What's going on, San Diego? I'm Casey Clayton. I'm with Cross Country Home Mortgage, and as a native San Diegan and active real estate investor myself, I'm the local lending expert that you need. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor looking to expand your portfolio, I have both the knowledge and the products to help you accomplish your next goal. So reach out to me anytime. Casey Clayton, Cross Country Mortgage. Look forward to connecting.
Thank you, Casey. Martin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty. Me and my team really do focus on the investment side of real estate, being the underwriting, the identifying, and getting you into the deal at the best possible price. We are licensed agents, so we're able to handle the realist, the negotiating, and even just identifying the best product from the best sources. So feel free to reach out anytime you need any type of underwriting advice, any type of advice on if it's a deal or not, and love to help and love to work with you guys. So yeah, Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty.
Thank you, Martin. Adib.
Hey, everybody. My name's Adib Mahdi, general contractor. Our method with general construction is design build. So when you buy that home or you want to expand that home or you want to buy for investment reasons, we're a design build team. We've been around San Diego since 2012 as a licensed general contractor. My partner is an architect. I have engineers on staff. My partner was part of the consulting architects for the San Diego Library downtown, come with lots of commercial experience, lots of residential experience. We bring our clients in, we talk. What is it that you want to do? We reverse engineer what their budgets are, what their concepts are, and we help them get the most out of a home remodel or an investment property. But to have a design build architect and to have a design build contractor will save you time, it'll save you money, and it'll make sure that you meet deadlines and you keep budgets in place, because that's very important in your real estate deals. So that's what we do. Give us a call. We would love to talk with you. We would love to counsel with you, figure out what you want to do with your property or how you want to improve it, and we go to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Adib. Eris, Mr. Carlsbad.
Thanks, guys. Eris, Mr. Carlsbad Real Estate here, broker associate with eXp Luxury Properties, working out of North County, San Diego, in the Carlsbad area. Closed over 100 million in transactions for our clients, buying and selling real estate. And we're here to help you live limitless with all things real estate, give you a leg up on the very competitive market that we have here in North County, and make sure we get you into that dream home, or make sure we get you top dollar for that property.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. How's everybody feeling today? Great?
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. It's so great to have you all on the show today. And again, this is the reason why we have LEARNin San Diego Live, is to bring all of these subject market educators to you right here live. So please comment and ask questions below. At the end of the show, if you feel that you want to get a hold of any of these professionals to help you with any of your real estate, your escrow, your loans, general contractor, and even looking for off-market deals, these are the people that we bring to you live so that you can do that. Now, thank you all so much for being on the show. Without all of you, we wouldn't even have a show. So thank you so much. And with that in mind, let's get into the next segment of our show and dive into it with our LEARNin Local Insights.
All right, guys, welcome to the LEARNin Local Insights segment. Before we jump into the segment, really quick, we want to thank our sponsor, Farmers Insurance. So take it away.
Protection that puts you first. Your home and your family deserve security, stability, and peace of mind. For every mile, every moment, every memory in motion. Because every drive deserves to get you home safely. Comprehensive solutions that safeguard your operations, assets, and future. Farmers Insurance, because your life deserves protection that truly matters.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you again to Farmers Insurance for sponsoring the show. So let's jump into our LEARNin Local Insights as a part of our 6-week speaker series here, going over the different regions in San Diego. And we're just going to dive right into the quality of life. Why do you guys think folks would want to invest here? What is the lifestyle that draws each one of you to this area?
Well, I live in North County, so I love living by the coast. And again, even with the high prices here in San Diego and along the coast, the quality of life here is amazing. You're so close to transportation. You're so close to the beaches. You're so close to so many amazing parks. There's hiking, there's biking, there's just a lot of restaurants and bars and just a lot of entertainment. It's such a great lifestyle. So if you want to bring in your family here and look for housing, this is a great place to start looking. Thank you, Eris.
Absolutely, Chris. Adib, any thoughts?
Well, I think San Diego is a great place. Of course, we all do. The rest of the world does. It always tickles me when folks are vacationing, planning their vacation for a year, and it's to come to my neighborhood. So it's one of those things. And trying to actually sort of get the comfortable home or build out that perfect office can be a task, because there's lots of contractors in San Diego and there's lots of things and lots of people that you could deal with. But I always stress that you want to deal with somebody that has your budget in mind, has your lifestyle in mind, to make sure you get in the property comfortably and be more beautiful, pleasant to live here. So making sure that you spend your money and invest your money in the right way is our aim. That's our goal.
Absolutely. Incredibly well said. And yeah, I mean, just going off of that as well, I mean, I think it's just such a well planned out community. I'm in Carlsbad, obviously, and I mean, yeah, it's funny whenever you go somewhere else, right? And you say you're from San Diego or Carlsbad, people just give you a look like, oh my God, right? Like, so we're incredibly fortunate to live in such a incredible place.
Well, and this is vacation
so offer,
paradise, right? And just to riff off what you're saying, I mean, we live in paradise. That's why I live here. And people from all over the world come to San Diego for a vacation. So I always feel blessed that I'm on vacation every day in San Diego, Coronado. I mean, there's so many different communities depending on what is important to you, right? And there's so many different opportunities and ways to invest in real estate. And I love Martin Majana here, he always is bringing deals to the table, off-market deals. And that's why you want to tune into this show and work with the experts, because, you know, there's a lot on the MLS, but you know what, where the magic is and the gems are is in the off-market deals, if you're able to tap into that. And that's where you're going to tap into that here on the show. So I've lived in snow. I've lived in, you know, from Wyoming to Las Vegas to Arizona, and I've been in Southern California. San Diego's my favorite. From LA to Orange County, San Diego is the creme de la creme.
Yeah, like Tracy said, it's just like the weather, especially here in San Diego, is just optimal basically year round. Like you have your little spouts of rain like right now, but for the most part, like you're getting 70 to 90 degree weather year round. And if it's, you want something a little hotter, a little more deserty, you can always just go east and hit up Nicole Turner at something in East County down south. If not, stay along the coast, La Jolla, Oceanside, Carlsbad, even down to Coronado. It doesn't really matter where you go along the coast. It's all beautiful. It's all amazing real estate opportunities. And like Tracy said, being connected to those local market experts to get those off-market deals, to get exclusive deals that you couldn't really get anywhere else. That's kind of the bread and butter of getting the best deals overall. So reaching out to these expert providers all the time is kind of just the way to do it in San Diego, because it's such a small market that everyone basically will interact with each other at some point. So being well entwined in the actual real estate market here in San Diego is kind of the way to go if you're going to get into it.
Yeah, guys, and let's not forget about downtown San Diego. So heard a lot of great things about the coast. Obviously, that draws a lot of people. But downtown San Diego is an amazing place.
Oh, you're
now with the what was that?
You were fading in and out a little bit. Oh, you're back.
Sorry. Yeah, but again, I think downtown San Diego is an amazing place, especially we talk about lifestyle. You know, it's no matter where you live, it's probably a 5-10 minute walk to all those places I just mentioned. You also have Balboa Park, great golf course, world-class zoo, great for families. They do a lot of events there as well. So, you know, really a great central area to be in. And with the way that downtown is set up between the airport, the bay, and the freeways, we're kind of locked in. So if you can get into real estate down here, it can't really expand too much from the downtown central. And they only have the ability to go up, which is what we're seeing a lot of right now with a lot of new buildings going up. And we're even seeing some condo conversions. So, you know, really great place. I'm really excited to see where it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Bosa's putting up a new building right now with really high-end luxury amenities. A lot of really great things happening down here. And one other great thing that I think we mentioned on a previous show is there's a law for investors, this is important, that doesn't allow HOAs to cap your rentals if you do 31 days or more. So in a lot of major cities across the country, these HOAs will put in 6-month, 12-month lease rules to try to limit short-term rentals or the amount of investors that are in the building. There's a law, HOAs cannot do that as long as you're renting for 31 days or more. You're able to do that. So if you're looking to do furnished midterm rentals, I think there's a great opportunity there too.
Awesome. I'm really glad you brought up downtown, Casey. That's where a lot of the hustle and bustle happens here in San Diego. So with that, it's a good transition into the market trends. What we're seeing locally in the market for real estate right now, guys. Anyone want to jump in? Just any thoughts as we go into the market trends here?
Yeah, I think, Eris, that when it comes to market trends, a lot of the buyers and investors really do have to look at what's on inventory, how long these properties have been on the market, and what they can actually negotiate with these sellers. I mean, every pocket of every region is so different and so diverse. And, you know, some of these properties may be staying on the market a little bit longer than other areas of the market. So that's why you have to come and, you know, be a part of the show, connect with the right realtor, you know, such as Eris, Mr. Carlsbad. And, you know, that way they can guide you through and find that perfect property for you. You really have to look at all the different trends because sometimes, you know, there are properties on the market that have stayed a lot longer and you can negotiate. But then there are, again, like properties which sell just like that. And there's multiple offer situation. We got to look at the loan situation. We got to look at the interest rates. We got to look at also, you know, some of these opportunities where, you know, there are down payment assistance for a lot of these buyers who really don't have a lot of money to get into these markets. But San Diego definitely is a great place because statistically, every 15 years, the properties double in value and the properties keep going up in value. So it's nice to get into the market now, but be wary of where the trends are, where the pockets are, where you can negotiate.
Well, and Casey, great points, Chris. Casey, are you seeing a lot
Great
of
points.
creative financing increasing because it seems like deals are more complex? There's everything from rate buy downs, seller credits, ADUs, small multifamily repositioning. And I know from an escrow perspective, from talking with all my escrow officers at our 4 offices, the deal complexity is constantly increasing. And so, that is why it is critical to have the experts on the case to take things to the finish line. But what are you seeing, Casey, in regards to creative financing solutions?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, not even so much on the creative financing side, but just working with lenders and realtors that understand the right strategies to make your offers stand out and to make sure that you can qualify for properties that maybe you thought you couldn't because of some of these creative ideas, like you mentioned with the buy downs, whether we're doing permanent or temporary buy downs that help ease your payment while interest rates still kind of hover above where they've been. Those are all great things. We can work that in with the realtors to create a strategy when you're going to market to place offers to make sure your offer stands out, even if you are needing to ask the seller for some of these credits to help you pay for some of these things. Another great thing that Chris mentioned is down payment assistance. I don't think people realize how high the limits are. In California, there's several different programs, and that the income limits vary based on household size and zip code on some of the programs, but there's people making $200,000 plus a year that are still eligible to receive down payment assistance. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think a lot of people, think 6 figures, you're not eligible. That's not the case. So there is that. And then, going to the creative financing piece, I don't know if I see as much of it in San Diego, and maybe Martin sees a little bit more of this working so much with investors, but across the country, with properties sitting longer, we are seeing a lot more seller carries, and we are seeing a lot more subject to, obviously, with people being locked into these lower interest rates. So we're seeing a lot of creative finance throughout the country. I don't know if, Martin, you're seeing as much of that here. I don't see quite as much of it in San Diego, at least not to the volume that I see it in like the Midwest and some of these other regions, but definitely something that's taken up with properties sitting longer. And
I definitely see it a little bit, not too much, like you said, but there's little situations where there's like seller lease back, seller hold back stuff where the property won't be vacated until they find a new property. But then at the same time, you get the occasional one where if you have multiple investors coming in, you're trying to structure a deal that isn't going to work traditionally, having them come in where they start off with a certain price and then pay over time, just little things like that and creative wise that will work. The thing with it is that it's really hard to convince, especially if it's an off-market deal, convincing the seller that this creative structure is the best deal for them, because it is a bit of a complicated structure besides, hey, John, it's bringing you $1 million for your house versus A, B, and C is going to bring you this much of money. And then in 4 years, they're going to be paying you over time. So getting those across really relies on having a good realtor to really structure the deal and negotiate it for you. But besides that, I'm not really seeing it too much besides the basic seller leasebacks and holdbacks for vacating properties.
And then, hey, I have a quick, go ahead, Adib. I'll pipe in after you.
Well, I was going to say something. You guys are talking about creative real estate financing and those types of things. In the construction business right now, and maybe I can get some feedback from you guys because you're the experts on that side. I'm having clients, and I think there's some sort of new city code that's coming into play where you can actually build your ADU on your property and sell that ADU separately as a real estate piece, something like that. I think I've heard something about that in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's happening in San Diego, but we're getting an uptick in our office for ADUs and ADUs, and I'm wondering if that's pushing that particular feed.
So I think I know what you're referring to, Adib. There was a state law passed where folks can decide to individually sell the ADU, but it has to be approved by each city individually. So unless the city that they're trying to do that in has approved that as that measure as well, then they're not able to do it unless the city has also approved it. That's how I understand it, though. So hopefully that answers your question. And just to kind of chime in on the market trends that I'm seeing with our clients in the field right now, before we go into our last topic here. Every area is different. I would say sort of the entry level, single family markets where you can get, into a home for 800 to like 1.1. Those are still moving pretty quickly here in Carlsbad. So very competitive. If you're trying to get into a home in that price range, very, very competitive. But here in Carlsbad, more luxury kind of properties. The average days about 40 to 45 days on market, so a little slower than that, but still incredibly competitive. We just don't have enough inventory. So in any event, kind of going off of the ADU conversation, indeed, this leads us into our last talking point for today, economic development. And, we want to talk about, new laws like that. What are you guys seeing? I know here in Carlsbad, in addition to that part of the ADU, earlier this month, they proposed a new sort of expansion for ADUs in Carlsbad, so that attached ADUs, if it's attached to the property already, it can be larger than previously had allowed to be. So I think you might start seeing some more attached ADUs, as they can be up to 50% of the primary residence in Carlsbad going forward. No. Anything else that you guys are seeing out there?
One thing I'm seeing is it's not really in Carlsbad, but more in southern San Diego. So like National City, Chula Vista, that kind of area, is the economic opportunity zones, the ones that offer it's called the FAR incentive, where basically they give you they go off of your square footage of your lot, and then you're able to build up a certain multiplier upwards, and they give you a lot of tax benefits. And if you're in a transit zone, meaning that you're near enough local transportation, a lot of the space that you would have been prior or giving out to parking can be used for additional units. And as long as you have ample bike and walking paths, you'll be able to get away with limited parking. So you're going to be able to develop a lot more vertically and not have to worry about setting up parking and making room for parking. So economic zones and the FAR incentives are something I would recommend people research, because it's one of those things that I think if you utilize properly, you can get a lot of value out of.
Yeah, opportunity zones too. I mean, you can get a lot of great tax incentives working inside an opportunity zone. And I was just going to say what Martin just said, but a lot, staying close to public transit and not being required to put the parking in really allows you to utilize the space quite a bit better.
Got it. Yeah, and one last thing I wanted to bring up too is there was a city council meeting in Carlsbad. There's a development in Brezzy Ranch being proposed by the Toll Brothers company to rechange the zoning in Brezzy Ranch so that they can get a density bonus. So there's some pushback in the community, of course, people being concerned they're going to add too many units too quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out there. So let's transition into our deals segment, guys. I know Martin's got some stuff we want to go over.
Alrighty, thank you, Aris, for that. It's time for my favorite segment, the Learning Local Deals, where we're going to present real deals in real time. But before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Revolution Realty Capital. Awesome. So being that we're going to be starting a new 6-week segment on all things real estate, we're going to be going over again how the deal segment is structured, what we do, and how we do it. So during the deal segment, we will be presenting both off and on market properties. We'll be talking about flip opportunities, long-term rentals, Airbnbs, ground-up constructions. And we'll also be talking about listings or any type of project that you as the viewer or our service providers would like to showcase. That way you can kind of analyze and underwrite it live on the show, the cost of construction, the do's and don'ts to avoid, and kind of bring in your own insights on the property if you would like to ever be a part of the show. That being said, the big thing we focus on during the deal segment is the three things that I kind of preach is identifying the property, underwriting it thoroughly, and identifying how you can get the best deal structure for this one to make sure you get the best price and make sure you're getting the most out of the property, whether it be a flip, an investment, or a turnkey rental. But I'd like to open it up to our amazing panel of individuals on what are some of the questions your clients typically have when buying flips or when buying property, and some of the things as if you were the viewer right now, what some of the questions you think they might have, or if we had any comments during the live show that we could possibly go over.
Questions that I get is from real estate agents for their clients is, what are the closing costs? How much is escrow? How much is title? What is this going to cost me? What are the transaction costs to actually, sell my home? And so something that we offer we provide net sheets, which basically provide we do the best estimate with information we have from the real estate agent and provide a net, we call it a net sheet. And that essentially is a summary of all the closing costs involved to close that escrow. So that's what the questions I get from an escrow perspective. What about you guys?
Yeah, piggybacking on, the money involved and the money side of things. One of the biggest things we get is how much capital does it actually take to do this, right? So whether it's a new investor that wants to know how much money they need to put into a deal or just want to have enough reserves that they're comfortable, or a seasoned investor that wants to put as little capital in the deal as possible so they can look to scale and do multiple deals at a time. That's something I get a lot. We do have fix and flip and ground up construction loans where, we can finance a pretty high majority of the purchase price and 100% of the renovation costs. So for seasoned investors, a lot of times we'll go up to 90% of purchase price and 100% of renovation on fix and flip products. And then we're going to base our max ARV, our max loan to value off of the ARV, which is the after renovation value. So, technically you can get more money on a property than the money's worth the day you buy it, because we're evaluating it based on what it's going to be worth when you're done with the project.
Yeah. From a 1031 exchange perspective, many investors are looking at, well, I'm selling this property. It's a great property, but can I actually find a replacement property for it within that 45-day period? Because as you know, once you sell your relinquished property and close escrow on your relinquished property, you have 180 days to close on your replacement property, with the first 45 days allowing the investor to identify up to 3 properties. Many investors right now, they're looking at all the inventory, and there's a lot of properties out there that don't really pencil out. So they're concerned within that 45 days, can they actually find that property that meets their needs? Well, if they are concerned about that and they want to find their property first, we actually have a reverse exchange where they can actually identify their property first, close on that property using an exchange accommodator title holder or an EAT. It's dropped into that corporation, and then the investor has time to sell their relinquished property. The reason why we have the EAT and dropping it into that corporation is we don't want the investor to be on title to both properties at the same time. The beauty of the reverse exchange is they're able to get the property that they really want, that pencils out, and then they have time to close on their relinquished property. So that's some of the concerns that a lot of investors have, is just, finding properties that actually pencil out. And here in San Diego, because property values are so high, you need to put significantly more down in order to just break even or to get a return on your investment. And with the cost of insurance going up, that eats up a lot of that profit. My mother has an 8-unit apartment building and in LA. And with the rise of the insurance costs, it's significantly eaten up a lot of that positive cash flow for her. So a lot of investors
Yeah, going off of what Chris just said and going back to what Casey and Tracy were saying, the really analyzing every little fee in the deal is so important, because I see, especially newer investors, that they kind of get surprised at the price that we are recommending they buy, because they're seeing that the little fees they don't account for, they got to relist it, they got to pay for staging, the closing costs. And obviously the one thing that hits the hardest is when you're getting a personal loan, because for the most part you're not going to be buying cash in California. It's like really rare to even see. You're going to be holding you're going to be paying holding costs, which is a certain amount of the loan per month until you are able to pay it back. And that's why partnering up with somebody, the most important part in my opinion is the construction side. Because if you are analyzing your deal and underwriting it for 3 to 4 months, but you had a super just lax construction expert, and they told you a certain timeline and you go over on time by 2, 3, 4 months, that's going to completely kill the deal. Because instead of profiting 50, 60 grand, now you're eating all those profits just in holding costs, and you'll be lucky if you even break even. So making sure you're around just experts in what they do and highly recommended individuals is just how you're going to save money and be able to do anything in this market.
Yeah, I have to absolutely agree with you, Martin. I have had so many clients that have used contractors that, and it's just a mix of how they've used them. They've used contractors where one person provided architectural plans, then the general contractor was not involved with the design and the construction process of it. And those little weeks and 2 weeks and 3 weeks gaps sometimes when there's a discrepancy in the drawing and what the contractor is seeing in the field can throw your whole project timeline out of whack. So it's really important, if you are dealing with an architect or dealing with a contractor, that the ideal thing is to have them together so that they're sitting with you. The contractor knows exactly what's going to happen on that project. The architect is at hand to lend him any kind of assistance in the field if there's something that needs to change, but it doesn't mess up the timeline. It helps everything to flow very smoothly. And that just simply means you keep more money in your pocket. And that's what you're talking about now. That money will fly out of your pocket pretty quickly when you let weeks and weeks add up and go by, only because there was sort of a misjointed communication or understanding with the contractor, architect, and the client. So that's something that everyone should be really guarded about, for sure.
Yeah, and just to follow up on what both Martin and Adib just said, one of the biggest things I see that comes to timeline and holding costs is permitting time, especially with newer investors, and they don't account for how long it's going to take them to even be legally allowed to start the project. So another reason to do your homework and partner with local professionals that have gone through the permitting process before and can give you realistic expectations. Because if you've got a project and you're like, hey, I can knock this out in 6 months, but you didn't account for the 4 to 6 months it's going to take you to even get the permit, now you're doubling your holding costs almost, and that's going to really pull your numbers out. And I don't know if we have time, but if Adib or Martin have any insight on what we're seeing on permitting times right now in San Diego, maybe for like an ADU or a building permit, that's something I'm sure our viewers would really appreciate. One of the biggest things I see.
I was talking to Winston from Casita ADU recently, and he was saying that average turnaround time can be anywhere from 3 months to a year. The more residential, like the garage flips, the smaller ADUs, he can get away with 3, 4, 5 months if they're really if the plans they have are really solid. But anything involving ground up construction, multifamily, or any of these bigger developments, you are going to expect like minimum 6 months, but probably a year in just waiting time just to get your project off the ground. And like Casey said, you're going to be eating into your holding costs. So you got to make sure you account for that in your initial estimate.
Yeah. And it's really important also to share that with investors because everyone has sort of a misunderstanding about the permitting part, the time that it takes. So it's really important to share that. The only thing that I have realized in our office, when we do ADUs or we do ground up, where we sort of save time, because I'm next door literally to my architect, is that I look at the plans as he's designing the plans. So we go over constructability all the time. And where we know what is going to be held up in permitting or held up in the electrical or held up in structural, we can sort of design to that effect. And it has saved us weeks at a time, those kinds of things. It's almost like trying to trim the fat, and where we can trim the fat a little bit with design helps out a great deal. But again, if you go back to where one arm is doing your drawings and the other arm is trying to estimate it and it gets submitted, you can be held up in permitting for quite a while. A year is not uncommon, but trim the fat, put your two people together and have them work on that. It will save you time and save you some serious money.
Absolutely, Adib. Thank you so much. And piggybacking off of that, from a 1031 exchange, there's also what's called a construction exchange or a build to suit, where an investor can actually sell their investment property. Say they have a gain of about $1.5 million. They can actually purchase another investment property, which requires major construction, use that $1 million out of that $1.5 million gain to acquire that property. And that other $500,000, it can be used to do all the construction, all the fix-up that's needed. However, Exchange Resources will be the ones in charge and in control of paying all those contractors. And there's also a timeline. It's 180 days to complete the construction or utilize all of the funds in that exchange. Otherwise, you will be taxed. But construction exchange does get complex. It does start at $9,000, but you can do it. However, again, you got to consider the permit issues as well, because sometimes permits do take some time. We don't recommend utilizing those funds to build from ground up from vacant land, because there's a lot of delays with labor, with materials, with permits, and then that could delay the exchange from happening, and it could be very difficult for you to get that done. So that's why timelines are very important, and it's good to meet with any of these subject market educators to be able to guide you through the whole process. But yeah, construction exchanges, build to suits can be done as long as you use all those funds within that 180-day period.
Yeah, good point.
Tracy?
Yeah, just real quick, chiming in on this as well. I would definitely say a lot of the investors that I'm working with, they are not looking for, projects where they're going to have to do ground up construction, because most of the time the margins and the holding costs, as Martin and everybody talked about, just does not make sense right now. So ideally, you're looking for something that is cosmetically, you go in there and get in and out as quickly as possible. And that's where it comes to working with someone like myself or Martin to help you identify those kind of opportunities. And right now, sometimes the properties that, they come on the market too high as a listing, people forget about them. And, 100 days goes by, that seller might be willing to talk to you, and there might be an investment opportunity there.
Good point.
All right. Tracy, did you have one last word?
No, hey, well, I'm ready to roll on to events, one of my favorite parts of the show. But I just appreciate everybody's insights and expertise. I always learn every show. And so it's super fun and grateful to be here with all of you. So let's roll on to our LEARNin Local events, everybody. Here. That music just makes me want to get up and dance. So, hey, before we get into LEARNin Local events, I'm just going to have my own dance party here. You join me, please. Let's thank our sponsor before we roll into the events.
Smart real estate investing starts with the right partner. At HLM Group LLC, we guide investors through every stage, from acquisition to full service management. Whether short, mid, or long-term rentals, we transform properties into high-performing, fully booked spaces. Design, staging, leasing, hospitality. We don't just manage properties, we create experiences that feel like home. Because the best investments deliver more than returns. They become places where life happens and memories begin. HLM Group LLC, own the property, we'll craft the experience.
Thank you, Roger Lee, HLM Group LLC, Professional Realty Services. So, hey, Tracy Hasse here, Tyco Escrow Services, and I am a super connector because I love connecting with people through the show. And then what's super fun is all of us, we attend live events here in San Diego. And there are so many epic events that you want to be a part of. You want to come meet us, find out about the show, join us on the show. So let's let it roll and take notes. And if you have any questions, let us know. So we have Speed Networking event. This is it's the Asian Real Estate Association of America, Common Theory Public House in San Diego, February 26, 5:30 p.m. So that's always a ton of fun. And then we have our one and only Chris Castellero, Exchange Resources, the king of 1031s. He is hosting Unlock the Investor Market, how 1031 knowledge doubles your business. And that is at their headquarters in Rancho Bernardo, every second Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. So mark your calendars, get to that event. You're going to learn a ton. We've got from Predicted by Genius AI Quantum Leap, build your custom AI co-pilots that actually work for your business. That the next 6-week session, I think it's going to be the last one for a while, February 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. It's an epic game changer. If you're looking to have that competitive edge, check that out. Then we've got Good Conversations, Better Connections, Golf, and Goals. And at this event, it's Friday, February 27th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's super fun. Connect with real estate investors, pros like everybody here on LEARNin Local Live, and interns in an exclusive speakeasy setting where you really can connect boardroom style and leave having some great connections for your real estate business. And last, I think this is one of the last ones, Moonlight Beach Half Marathon. I know our founder here, Coach Ruben Austria, will be running in that, I'm pretty sure. But if you are interested, join the fun. It's Sunday, March 15th, half marathon, Moonlight State Beach. It'll be beautiful and a ton of fun.
Hey, Eris, is John really going to run the 10K with me or what?
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to race, and
Nice.
we're gonna take some bets on it. So
Let's do it. Let's do it. He said he was willing to live stream the whole thing. He said, didn't he?
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I think he may pass out, but yeah, we'll do this time.
We're gonna have to bring some
doctors standing
we're gonna
by.
have to bring some medical professionals into the network. But yeah, no, that's gonna be exciting. We're gonna have the team, the team of Revolution Realty Capital, business development reps and inside sales people are gonna be involved with that as well. So I gotta teach them to work hard so they can work with you guys. You know what I mean? You guys are the pros. So
You are too.
but yeah, no, it's been a great live. I just want to say that the banter and the conversations has been epic. I think Adib might be trying to get in here. Adib, we didn't want to leave Adib out, especially after we said construction is the most important part of real estate.
Exactly.
Want to just really quickly, I come in here at the end here because we want to encourage comments. So I just want to really just thank everyone who had commented here. Anastasia, thank you so much for being here. I think she was commenting about how fortunate we all are to be in San Diego and the weather. Roger HLM Group, man of little words, only emojis, but awesome emojis. I really appreciate you as a sponsor. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. And we had some others here as well, but just want to take maybe we can answer one question. Chris, you have one question that you can ask all our educators so we can kind of wrap it up. We only have 2 minutes, so maybe let's do this. Chris, why don't you pick one person to take us away, and then you can kind of finish the show. Or maybe you want to just do the last closing statement. How about that, Chris? Let's just do that.
I'll do the last closing statement.
Yes.
All right. Well, so let me ask a question. All right. So the question is, where is the best part of San Diego to purchase your first investment real estate? Whether it's a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, where would that be right now? That is the question. Anybody?
I personally like Logan Heights, Mountain View, anything east of downtown. You can get some land, you can develop on the properties, and that downtown lifestyle is just going to push out, kind of like we've seen in Barrio Logan, South Park, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Go
I
ahead,
think we
Martin.
can get some partners together. If you're dual, like the Aris brothers, the Agnes brothers, I think Claremont would be a great place. Maybe get a little garage conversion in there, get an ADU, and just get a set of a little duplex.
A lot of stuff moving over there in Claremont. I still think, here in North County, Oceanside, there's a lot of really good opportunities. It's still an entry level market for the area. So you can, get in at a lower price and then ride that wave of appreciation that we all know is coming over the next 5-7 years in the area. So that's where I would put my feet down.
Fantastic. And again, everybody, thank you all so much for being on this incredible show. We've got our subject market educators here to provide you all this information. Great job, everybody. We're looking forward to connecting our viewers with you. And again, we're here to connect, collaborate, and create content with all these subject market educators. Please join us on School and be a part of this amazing community. Thank you all so much for being on this amazing show. And we'll see you at the next LearnIn Local Live.